Okay, so this problem says there's a third of a cup of oil in Jennifer's measuring cup, and if Jennifer adds 1/6 of a cup more, how much oil will be in the measuring cup? What that means is we're just going to add what she had in the cup originally and what she adds to it. Let me write what I just said. She starts with 1/3 of a cup, and then she's going to add 1/6 of a cup. 1/6. So we need to, anytime we want to add or subtract fractions, we want to have the same denominator, okay? So it's a little neater. That's 1/6. Sarah, can you tell me what our common denominator is? They've got a 3 and a 6. So what would we need to be our common? It's okay if you don't know. Now we want a 6, and let me explain why. Okay, we want to have a 6 for both of those. So the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9. I want you to jump in here. What comes after 3, 6, 9, and 12? I'm just adding 3 every time. What will come next? So it's not always just, in this case it is, yes. In this case it is the 6, but it's not always going to be that way. So yeah, these ones tend to be a little bit easier. You're right, by the way, it is going to be a 6, but let me just show you why. Can we go a little bit further here? 3, 6, 9, 12. Wouldn't 15 come next? What will come after 15? 18, then 20, 21, 24. I'm going to go a few more here. 27 and 30. Now let's do 6 also. Let's do the multiples of 6. 6 and then 12. What will come next? If we just keep adding 6. Good. And then I think 24 and then 30. So I want you to see that these lists, these multiples, this list of multiples, have something in common. They both have a multiple of 30. They also both have a multiple of 24. They also both have a multiple of 18 and 12. But they also both have a common multiple of 6. We could have used 12 or 18 or 24 or 30 or 6. What do you think would be the easiest number to use of all those? Yeah, 6. The others would work, but we don't want to deal with bigger numbers. We don't have to. All right, so that's why we use the 6. Not because it's the bigger number, because it's the easiest of all the common multiples. Now, you don't have to write all this every time you do it. I just, like I said, I'm recording this. I'm pretty sure it doesn't record your voice, by the way. And if it does, I'll erase it later. But yeah, so I want you to be able to see this later if you get stuck, if you forget what I did or something like that. So I'll put a link to that video, to this video. All right. Let me erase those multiples. That's like scratch paperwork that you can do that. Some people can do it in their head, and you get better at doing that if you work on these for a while. But we don't really need all this right now. Get rid of all those. Missed part of it there. So yeah, we want our common denominator to be 6. So what I'm going to do, again, is say one thing, but write something that sounds different, but it's not. I'm going to multiply in red here. I'm going to multiply this black fraction by 1. Watch how I write 1, 2 over 2. Because if I do that, when I do that, what do I get in my numerator on the top? What will be the top of that fraction? I'm going to do it in blue. What's 2 times 1? Good. And on the bottom, what's 2 times 3? Good. So this blue fraction is the same thing as this black fraction, but it's written in a way where now the denominators are both 6. Okay? Does that make sense to what I said so far? And now it's way easier to add. The denominator is our common denominator, 6. But the numerator is super easy. What's 2 plus 1? Good. Now, I don't think it's said in this problem that we have to simplify it, but it's always a good idea. That's the right answer, but we almost always, sometimes it will mark it wrong if you don't do that. So let's always simplify this. Isn't this the same as on the top 3 times 1 and in the denominator 3 times 2? Right? So I want to keep saying this, that we almost always want to write things in a different way, or can write things in a different way. And why don't we just write it in the simplest way possible? So 1/2. And let me emphasize that. This is correct. I like to say, although it's correct, it's not finished because it's not as simple as it can really be. But right, but so 1/2 is the simplest form. It doesn't show up here that well, but 1/2 would be the answer we want to use here. So if that makes sense, I'm going to stop this now, and I'm going to save it in a few minutes here and post it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it doesn't put you guys' voice on there. I don't think we're allowed to do that anyways, to be honest with you. There's some legal stipulation that you can't have students on the internet or something like that. So I don't think it records your voice, but if it does, I'll erase it. So let me set that up, and then if you get stuck later, anybody gets stuck later, you can go back and watch it. Okay. A good question. Somebody asked, was the answer 3/6 or was the answer 1/2? And the answer to that question is both are right, but one is simpler than the other. Both of these answers here are correct. These are the same thing. Which way is simpler, 3/6 or 1/2? What do you think? Let me rephrase that. Which numbers are easier, 3 and 6 or 1 and 2? 1 and 2 are easier or simpler numbers. And by the way, I want you all to, if you have a calculator, break it out. If you divide 3 by 6 on your calculator, if you do 3 divided by 6, you're going to get 0.5. Let me write what I just said. 3 divided by 6 equals 0.5. And so does 1 divided by 2. That's equal to 0.5. So these are the same, which means that those fractions are the same. So the answer to your question was, which one is right? They're both right. One's, I guess I'll use the word better than the other, but the technical word we use is simpler. We almost always want to write our answer in the simplest way we can. Okay, even if it's still right. Sometimes I'll take points off. Sometimes this module will say it's wrong if you don't simplify it. They're not really all that consistent, but most teachers will say, yeah, you should always simplify it, or you should usually simplify it. Okay, I'm not sure who said that, but did I answer your question, please? Tell me yes or no. That's still, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop this recording now, and I think I can, like I said, I think I can save that for later.